Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long. Once again, this is another Laker preview video, giving you some things to look out for in the upcoming Laker matchups and some storylines to watch as well. We're going to get to a preview of Golden State. That's who the Lakers will be playing tonight at Crypto. They played their first two games against Golden State in the Bay. They won both of them, the Lakers, and the next two tonight, and then on April 3rd will be in LA. But we're going to get to it. First, before we get to all that, we're going to talk about this Mark Williams trade. Just came down last night. Huge move for the Lakers. I know this one has some mixed reactions among people. So for those of you who haven't seen the deal, it's Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, 2031 first round pick, and a 2030 pick swap for Mark Williams. Now, Mark Williams is a really exciting young player, 23 years old, super young out of Duke, averaging about a double-double, about 16 points a game, 10 rebounds per game, and a block a game through just 23 appearances. I understand the injury concerns. He's only played 62 total games through his first two NBA seasons. He sat out the first 20 games of this season as well. But he has been really good when he's out there. And again, a young, big, 23 years old. I love that they took a swing and went and got someone that could be here for the next 5 to 10 years versus getting a patchwork big, a Robert Williams, a Valanciunas, guys who are kind of on the older side that seem like more of a rental. And giving up a first-round pick, all those deals, we're going to need a first-round pick involved. And to get at least to give away a first-round pick, you're getting a young center that hopefully can be here for the foreseeable future. And I was thinking about it more because at first I was at the same time like, it sucks. It does suck that Dalton Connect is gone. That's a bummer. He feels like he would have worked perfectly with Luka and LeBron, just kind of sitting there in the corner. But they had to give up a good player in the deal, and at least it wasn't Austin Reeves, as well as. I mean, if you're thinking about it, the Mavericks should have took all these picks. They should have took the 2031 pick as well. They should have took all the pick swaps. They originally were going to get Connect and Reeves and all these players. And the fact that they didn't and the Lakers kind of fleeced them in that deal maybe allowed them to overpay a little bit for a center that's for the future and win now. That's my favorite part of it, is that it sets up for both. You didn't just get a guy who's just for this year, and if you don't win the title, you're kind of like, well, why did we give a pick for this guy? But you're also getting a guy that could be good down the road, and hopefully we'll keep developing. They think he's going to develop along the Luka timeline. Apparently, Luka Doncic wanted him. He wanted a mobile big, a guy, and again, Luka Doncic's contract is up after the end of next year, so it's nice that the Lakers are already taking care of the face of the franchise moving forward, and so I like the deal. Yes, I understand that people would like to keep the pick and keep Connect, and I totally get all that, but I do think this is a nice move. And the defense on his defensive ability has kind of been in question a little bit. He's definitely a more skilled offensive player, but he's not a bad defensive big, and he's certainly an upgrade over what the Lakers had, because Jackson Hayes and Trey Jemison, even though I love just me some Jackson Hayes, and Jackson Hayes come off the bench is phenomenal, wasn't probably going to take you in a deep run in the playoffs. So excited to see Mark Williams play. I doubt he's playing tonight because you got to get to LA, and I believe he played last night for the Hornets, but I'm not totally sure on that. But so probably making his debut Saturday once again with Luka. That game's going to be electric. But looking at tonight, both these teams are in complete flux. The Lakers got Luka Doncic, and Mark Williams obviously traded Christie, AD, Connect, Reddish. Well, Golden State made a huge move last night as well. They got Jimmy Butler. They traded Kyle Anderson. They traded Andrew Wiggins. They traded Dennis Schroeder, who they acquired at the deadline earlier this year. And it was crazy because Steve Kerr, right before the game, they played the Jazz last night and pulled all of his team in the locker room, and everyone was like, what's going on? And then he informed everyone that they were being traded. So they were really thin last night. They lost a tight one to Utah. They had to go pretty deep in the bench. The starting lineup was Curry, obviously, Buddy Hield, Draymond, and Brandon Podziemski, who had a big night with 29 points. He really stepped up. He's a player the Lakers got to watch out for tonight. And Quentin Post was kind of slid in the starting lineup because of Andrew Wiggins. And then Kevon Looney and Gary Payton normally get time off the bench. The two guys that really had to step up on a short notice was Jackson Rowe. He's a forward out of Fullerton, 28 years old. And Pat Spencer was another guy who had a decent night as well, hit a couple big shots. So honestly, in the Warriors' defense last night, they played pretty well considering that three guys from their team got traded literally right before tip, screwing up the whole game plan. So I got to give them a little credit in that sense that they actually fought. They probably would have been very, very excusable if they would have got blown out by 30 last night, but they didn't. This team has been really up and down. They lose to the Jazz last night. They beat the Magic the game before. Then they lost to Phoenix. And then the game before was probably their best win of the year, where they beat Oklahoma City. Then they had beat Utah before that. In the previous game before that, they had lost to the Lakers about a week and a half ago. This team's very, very hard to figure out. They're not. Their record is 25-25, and I really believe that that's what they are. They are a team that could give you problems on any night because if they're hitting threes, obviously shooters all over the court, and Curry, we all know, Buddy Hield, and Podziemski's really kind of developing, was kind of just a defensive player early and is now transcending into that, being a really good scorer as well. So this team is kind of tough because, again, if they shoot threes at a super high clip, if they're hitting them, any team in the NBA can win threes on any given night. But the lack of size inside and the lack of consistency of another scorer outside of Steph Curry has been a real problem for him. So this is why the Jimmy Butler deal is so interesting. Some people may go, they're pretty old. They're all Curry, Draymond, and Butler are up in their later 30s. But this is trying to have a win now mode to keep Curry in. I don't think this makes the Warriors a championship team, but it does certainly in the playoffs, assuming they get there, because they're still fighting to get in. Curry and Jimmy Butler are going to be a tough out because we all know that playoff Jimmy really steps up. He's one of the few players like Luka Doncic that really steps up in the playoffs and almost becomes an even better player. And Steph Curry is what we all know. He's first ballot Hall of Famer, unreal. So it'll be interesting to see this team together. April 3rd is when the Lakers' final game against them. That it's going to look completely different than it is tonight. Luka Doncic will be playing. Mark Williams will be playing, assuming no injuries or anything. And Jimmy Butler will be out there for Golden State. So it'll look completely different. But the big thing about tonight is that the Lakers can win the season series against Golden State with a win, which is huge because we keep talking about in all these preview videos. You want those tiebreakers. These games against Western Conference opponents, you want to make sure you're winning because it's so tight. It's so narrow there. It's so clumped. 4 through 12, 5 through 12. You don't want to be losing tiebreakers to these teams. That's why we go back to the Spurs game. The Lakers are currently up 2-1 in that series. It'd be huge to win that final one and get a tiebreaker against them. They just got De'Aaron Fox, so that they're on the upkeep, and they won last night against the Hawks. You would love to win against Golden State. I don't think Golden State's really necessarily going to catch the Lakers, but at the same time, you want to win these games. That's why the Clipper win the other night was huge. And the Lakers are winning. The Lakers playing really good basketball right now. And it's kind of lost in the fact that all the trades and all the excitement, and it should be because that's changing the direction of the franchise. But the Lakers are really playing good ball. And not only is LeBron doing what LeBron does, which is outstanding considering his age, it's really inexplainable what he's doing. But he's getting help from other guys. Reeves been ridiculous. I think Gabe Vincent has really stepped up his role in this team. He's kind of becoming the player that the Lakers thought when they signed him from Miami a few years ago. Rui's been playing very well. Jackson Hayes, I thought, is filled in pretty admirably for an AD's absence. And then Finney-Smith. I even think Shake Milton's getting a little more comfortable in the offense. I think he's actually going to need to play a little bit more tonight, considering Connect's out, considering still recovering from the Max Christie and AD not being there, and not having Luka and not having Mark Williams tonight. I do think Markieff Morris will play, which is nice to add some defense and some possible shooting against his team. But the Lakers are really going to need to have the supporting cast continue to step up until Saturday. And that's what they've been doing. They've won all these games. The last two games, I mean, the blowout win in New York, the blowout win against the Clippers, just big performance from a lot of guys. And it's so cool seeing Luka on the bench laughing with Finney-Smith, his former teammate. He already looked skinny in the presser. So anyone that was talking about how the Lakers made a bad move because Luka was overweight, well, he was dropping buckets when he was overweight, and now he looks skinny. So watch out for the rest of the league. Looking at specifically who will be on the court for the Warriors tonight, Kuminga's out. Moses Moody and Trace Jackson Davis didn't play last night, as well as Santos left the game yesterday with a left patella tendonitis in the second half. So that doesn't sound great. We'll see if he plays tonight. He comes off the bench. Moses Moody and Trace Jackson Davis. Moses Moody comes off the bench. Trace Jackson Davis does start. He's actually had some pretty big games against the Lakers. He's a kind of nice emerging player. And then Butler won't play, and Kuminga is out for a couple weeks now. So Lakers should win. The line opened at 6.5, and then last night it moved to 7.5. Everyone to get their money in, considering that they've lost Wiggins and Anderson and guys like that. The total set at 221.5, so that stayed pretty same for all my gamblers out there. But Lakers should win tonight. And Gabe Vincent, LeBron are probable. That's basically it for the Lakers on the injury side of things. Everyone's healthy. Just waiting for all the guys to come in. I think Markieff Morris will play tonight. So hopefully he can get a little run and spot some minutes, because LeBron's usage has been up the last week, but it's going to go down once Luka's here. So can't wait for this game. Going to be fun. Hopefully the Lakers win a tiebreaker against the Golden State Warriors. And we're all talking about another Allen post-game show with a Laker W, and maybe talking some reaction to the trade deadline. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, and everyone have a good one. Go Lakers.